Well, folks, I am now the proud owner of a Nintendo Switch 2. It came with a copy of Mario Kart World, at which I suck much less than Mario Kart 8. I can play the sorely overdue first 3D Donkey Kong game in forever. There's a new Kirby Air Ride and a piece de resistance, Metroid Prime 4, the sequel I've been dying to play for like over a decade. But I can't dive into any of that yet because Nintendo also released a tech demo to show off all the crazy new features of their exciting new console, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. This $10 downloadable title shows gamers the full unbridled power of what the Switch 2 can accomplish and what to expect from its new games. I am psyched, I am pumped, I am ready to dive into my new system. Let's see what Welcome Tour can show us about the exciting new age of gaming. The game is set at a big theme park laid out on a giant Switch 2, and you pick a generic, uncustomizable avatar waiting in line to get started. You wouldn't think it'd be hard to find a balding white man wearing blue, but such is life. Luckily, the line seems to go on forever, so I can keep looking until I find something I like. I'll just pick this dude, and there's not even name entry. Okay. The first area is shaped like the left Switch 2 Joy-Con controller, and you're not allowed to move on until you collect all the stamps. Now let's start playing the tech demos and minigames! Alright, first up is shaking the Joy-Cons like a pair of maracas, and that's it. You're supposed to see if it feels like there's a ball inside the controller with the Joy-Con's vibration, and I guess not really, because vibration can't mimic a weight that's out past the front of the controller. Okay, next game, it's moving a cursor and trying to guess where the strongest rumble is. That's not a game. They really want you to know that the Joy-Cons have vibration. It's like they're leaning into how Joy-Con sounds like a Transformers sex toy. Alright, the third minigame looks like it's an actual game. The Switch 2 has the capability to detach its controllers and use them like computer mice by setting them edge down against the surface. And you use these mouse controls to steer a cheap sprite of a UFO around falling spiked balls. This feels like a 99-cent Steam shovelware thing cobbled out of clip art, and it only lasts for 30 seconds! Yes, the first actual game on this sorry software is rigged to last as long as a single Mario Party minigame. And yeah, there are 2 additional levels that you have to unlock, and which also only last 30 seconds apiece! What the hell? Alright, I got some medals from completing these minigames. Have I made any progress on getting into the next area? No, because you need stamps, not medals. And how do you get the stamps? By walking all over the Switch 2 controller until tiny invisible pedestals appear next to each individual button and feature of the controller, many of which are over the edge of the game world, and once you've marked every single last doohickey, then you can move on to the next area, where you start marking off features of the Switch 2 console instead. I swear that I am not making this up. The core gameplay of Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour is walking around looking for invisible objects. Nintendo thought the best way to celebrate and mark their newest console was a walking simulator! Hey, did you know there's a new button in the back of the Joy-Cons to easily detach them from the system? Yeah, I figured it out about 10 seconds after unboxing the thing. Hey, here's the control stick that you are actively using this very second to navigate this game you're playing. You know, just in case you missed it. By now you're probably thinking, come on, Nintendo isn't that stupid. There's got to be more to the core gameplay than just walking around an empty map, right? Well, there is. There's a second set of objectives and mechanics that you'll need to master if you want to reach the end of Welcome Tour. And that mechanic is quizzes. Set up all around the game world are quiz desks. Once you talk to a desk, anywhere from 3 to 5 walls show up. If you interact with the walls, you'll be treated to a PowerPoint slideshow of how a certain aspect of the Switch 2 works. And I don't mean how to use certain features or play certain games. I mean detailed mechanical information about how the Switch 2 functions. The first quiz I took is about the main screen of the console, how the screen is made of pixels, how many pixels are in the screen, how it's the biggest screen of any Nintendo console, how the pixels are smaller than any other Nintendo console, how many types of light and color the system can render at once, the Switch 2's frame rate, complete with detailed explanation of what a frame rate is, the new refresh rate, and that the new touchscreen can track up to 10 fingers at a time. I had to read through all that crap to do a single quiz. There are 4 more quizzes just on the console screen alone! One about the speakers, one about the new game cards that third-party devs aren't even using, one for the kickstand that I'm not using, and one for the Switch 2's built-in microphone that nobody's using! Just an ocean of text bluntly explaining all the technicals behind the system that, unless you're an electrical engineer, nobody cares! Do any of you really give a shit that the built-in speakers are put inside sealed boxes and angled slightly diagonally downward? Or that the Switch 2 distinguishes old and new game cards by the shape of the card's edge? This is starting to feel less like a game for the Switch 2 and more like a step-by-step guide on building a bootleg Switch 2. About the only part I found interesting is that they had to build a special chip into the console's microphone because the microphone's next to a cooling fan that would normally render it useless. Yeah, there's at least one point off the top of my head where they spell out a design flaw in the Switch 2. You can attach the controllers to the system backwards or upside down, and they won't charge correctly. Why would you admit to a massive screw-up in your expensive new console? Brilliant! By now you're probably thinking, because I sure as hell was, at least this boring-ass game is short, right? I mean, the Switch 2 is just 2 controllers, 1 console, and 1 dock, so there's only got to be like 4 areas you have to plow through, right? This crap goes on for 12 areas of meandering scavenger hunts. You've got the left Joy-Con, the main system, the right Joy-Con, the inside circuitry of the right Joy-Con, the wrist strap, the dock, the camera accessory, the Pro Controller accessory, the steering wheel accessory, all 3 sold separately, the inside circuitry of the left Joy-Con, the controller grip you can slide the Joy-Cons into, and then finally the inner circuitry of the main Switch 2 console. It just will not end! Several features need to be marked multiple times across different areas, and there are quizzes that cover the same material over and over. Why did this orientation take me over 5 hours to complete? I feel like I'd be wasting both my time and yours recapping all the quizzes and PowerPoints. Did you know all the buttons are bigger and they slightly alter the controller curvature from the Switch 1? Or that the wrist straps are stitched together in a weird way? All the useless crap you're meant to read through about tiny things that the console has changed. I came to game. I, like most players, am interested in the interactive demos and the mini-games. And that's a problem because I can't access all of the mini-games. I get to the main Switch 2 body and I can't access a demo because I don't have a 4K resolution television. I get to a second demo, I can't access it because my TV also isn't 120 hertz. A few minutes later is a third demo I can't access because of my bum-ass television. What is going on? There's a game I can't access without a modern USB camera, a game I can't access without the new Pro Controller, so if we add up all the extra crap that I need to order to get the full usage out of Welcome Tour, I need to blow over $300 on additional hardware just to finish this game. And that's if I get the crappiest 4K television that Best Buy has right now. It's not enough that Nintendo charged $10 for a glorified technical manual. They try to guilt you into buying more stuff for all of it to work. Welcome Tour does have a variety of tech demos and minigames to demonstrate the capabilities of the system, but almost every single one of them is about the controller's rumble packs or the mouse capabilities. Seriously, using the controllers like computer mice for rudimentary tasks is jammed down your throat. Use the mouse to cross a maze without touching walls. Use the maze to hit a golf ball through a course that has no walls. Use the mouse to mime sawing through a tree. Use the mouse to draw a bead on and shoot a single target. Use the mouse to color in shapes. Use the mouse to scrape off grime. Use the mouse to drop shapes into frames. Even something as simple as demonstrating a change in resolution forces you to use the mouse for no reason. And several of the games require a massive degree of precision and timing that's insanely difficult because, hey, we gave you a mouse, that means everything controls flawlessly. By the way, the golfing minigame eventually bugged to where I couldn't move the club anymore. Your tech demo had me thinking my tech had died. And then the games just get weird. There are a few games revolving around using the mouse and gyroscope to drag and rotate items at once, which is heinously uncomfortable since the average wrist can't rotate that wide. There's a minigame around tilting the mouse to dodge obstacles, a feature that feels completely useless. I think someone was just scarred for life by Arkham Asylum's troll hints for fighting the Scarecrow. And there are at least 3 minigames that require you to use both controllers as mice at the same time, which again, feels more awkward and uncomfortable than you'd even believe. I'm calling it now, this whole dual gyroscopic tilting mice thing is going to lead to another Star Fox Zero. Nintendo will get pissed that nobody's using both mice and then make an entire game around those shitty controls and it'll be one of the worst things you've ever played. And while we're on the topic of mouse controllers, I have a, question, we'll say. I don't know about you, but I play most of my console games on a couch or an armchair because my futon's broken. Where in the actual hell am I supposed to sit down and use a mouse? One of the quizzes insists that you can just set the mouse on your thigh. Yeah, good freaking luck with that. I had to drag over an end table and lean over it to do all the mouse demos. Ain't no way in shit I'm playing Metroid Prime 4 all the way through this way. Dick! This pretty much only comes in handy if you play your games at a desk, which means we have an entire game touting a feature that was made exclusively for career live streamers. Most of the remaining games are built around the controller's new rumble packs. Hey, I bet that sawing this log feels super realistic! No, it doesn't. A saw has a distributed load off its front. It takes proper application of pressure. Hey, I bet you can feel out invisible shapes by touch thanks to the rumble! Well, no, because the rumble can't simulate edges. Over and over, Welcome Tour just shouts, isn't it cool that the rumble can move at different speeds now?
If I say yes, can I go play a real game?
About the only impressive thing about the Rumble at the show is a tech demo where they tune the thing to make sounds straight out of Mario Brothers using only vibrations. Yeah, that's impressive, but making sounds come out of the controller is something that the Wii could do 20 years ago! There's a minigame using the kickstand to hit certain angles.
That's not a game, that's geometry homework!
A game trying to fit all 10 fingers on specific spots, and a demo showing that their microphone surprisingly is not hot garbage.
How are you? I asked you first. Oh, that's really mature, saying exactly what I say.
Most of the remaining activities are about showing off the frame rates and graphics with such brilliance as spotting a single pixel on a 4K television. Shit that I don't need to be able to play to tell you it's pretty much impossible. There was exactly one legitimately fun game in this whole mess of demos. A simple activity where you walk around a room using the mouse controls to shoot balloons. Holy crap, something that controls well and feels like an actual game. And I think it's 3 levels that come out to about 30 seconds apiece. Over 5 hours of game time for about 2 minutes of passable content. Thanks! The last area is a nightmare maze of trying to figure out where to go among all the Switch 2's internal components. It's back to the brim with quizzes that amount to a crash course on entry-level electrical engineering, talking about heat management, circuit boards, the different memories of the system, capacitors, electrical demands, battery management, refresh rates. Who needs to know this? Props for trying to get kids interested in engineering, but I wanted to become an engineer because of Star Wars ships. You know, crap that's actually fun and interesting! And you get to the very core processor of the Switch 2, where you turn in your stamps and have one final quiz to determine your mastery of the console. What shape is the steering wheel of the Switch 2? Well, it's a really good thing they provided me a picture, because I just don't know. That might be a rectangle. I can't handle this much pressure! And once you finish that quiz, you unlock a single one-off congratulations screen that never reappears, and some tiny crowns in the map menu. They couldn't even put a crown on your head or decorate your avatar to mark your accomplishment, and there are no end credits. Just go back out until you beat all the mini-games when I can't even access them all.
I'm going back to Metroid now.
Everyone's been telling me that I should pit this game against Astro's Playroom to show how Sony's been mopping the floor with Nintendo on new console tech demos, but I think a better benchmark to lambast Nintendo is Nintendo themselves. Way back when the Wii first launched, it came packaged with a free game called Wii Sports. It was a collection of 5 simple sporting games that were universally accessible and perfectly demonstrated the Wii's brand new motion capabilities without needing a word of explanation. And it caught on. Bowling and tennis became instant party game favorites, while golf and boxing had a degree of length and even depth to them. Wii Sports not only offered a taste of what the system could do, it allowed the Wii to hit the ground running with a baked-in reputation as fun for the whole family. It's not just about showing off the tech, it's about sowing the seeds of your console's image. That's exactly why early runs of the Nintendo DS came with Metroid Prime Hunter's First Hunt. It was a short, free demo for a title that was still years out, to the point it has a hidden trailer teasing characters that aren't in the final game. But it showed the DS touchscreen wasn't just a gimmick, it had practical uses for real games, and having a full multiplayer 3D shooter was such a quantum leap over other handhelds, it made the firm statement that Nintendo's portable systems were catching up to the big boys. The Wii U launched with Nintendo Land, a love letter to Nintendo's franchises, and a wide variety of games utilizing the gamepad. It didn't need to stop and explain how everything works, you just got into the game and went, oh wow, it can do that! I still remember opening it up Christmas morning and being blown away at stepping into the hub world and using the gamepad's motion just to turn the camera, and the games themselves use the dual screen and motion control in creative ways. It launched the Wii U with a statement that it was bursting with potential. Granted, that potential went untapped as Nintendo's gamepad-centric games turned out to be complete garbage, but Nintendo Land tried to blaze the path. Even Nintendo accessories got tech demos, with the Wii Motion Plus packaged with Wii Sports Resort and new activities showing off how intricate the motion detection had become. Hell, you remember the Wii Zapper? That hideously uncomfortable shell that holds your Wii Remote and nunchuck in the shape of a blaster? Yeah, even that had a tech demo! Zappers came bundled with Link's crossbow training, a series of activities and challenges using the Zapper to shoot targets and enemies. Yeah, it was simple and it quickly became a meme among Nintendo fans, but you know what? It was a fun and frankly kind of addicting way to spend a few hours, and it made sure you had something to do with your new toy. Just let that sink in for a minute. Nintendo put their full ass into demoing a hunk of plastic, but not their entire bleeding edge new console generation. The Zapper got Zelda, the Switch 2 got Universal Studios Theme Park Adventure. So what does Welcome Tour say about the Switch 2? Buy lots of expensive shit or get out? Someone please use the mouse controls? The Joy-Cons make nice vibrators? That's about what I've got. I think the message is that Nintendo's under new management that will charge through the nose for whatever they can get away with, including demanding $10 for a technical manual. Screw you, give me money! There's your message for Nintendo's brand spankin' new console. Mario Kart World has a skin called the Vampire. Okay, I declare this best Mario Kart ever.